So Ready Set Homestead, where the only fluff is the feathers. I'm Kale, and today we're going to be building a nesting box for our chickens. Now I'm using pretty much all reclaimed material. I have these, which were old shelves. They are about 11.5 inches wide. I have some 2x4s here. These are all about 2 feet. And we are going to be building essentially a 1 foot by 2 foot nesting box that'll have 2 boxes inside of it. I don't have a whole lot of chickens that are laying right now. Most of our chickens that we have are for meat. And so the chickens that we do have, we're gonna give them 2 options because they're not gonna use all of them anyway. In the past, I've had upwards of 30 birds and had 4 nesting boxes, and they only use 2 of them. So with 2 nesting boxes with just a handful of birds, this will be plenty. Again, we have this board here. You can see this was a shelf. There are some cracks in it. We have 2 foot hardware cloth. I have another board here. We have a little over 6 feet of total board. Then we have some 2x4s here as well. These are all 2 foot cuts that I previously used. I'll be using a staple gun, of course, my tape measure, the hammer I'm not going to be using. I'll be using these old guys right here in order to cut the hardware cloth. Of course, I have my drill, and then I will be using a chop saw. If you don't have a chop saw, you can always use a hand saw, but we're going to go ahead and get right into it. I don't have a diagram that we're going to be using for this. I'm just kind of winging it on here, so I'll be going step by step to show you exactly what we're going to be doing. So the first thing I want to do is create my bottom frame. This is going to be roughly, it's not going to be exact. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just needs to be practical. So it's going to be roughly 2 foot by 1 foot for the bottom piece. So I have my 2 foot pieces here. I don't really like this one cut, so we'll use these two. And then we're going to cut this guy in half. This one is almost exactly 24 inches, so we're going to cut this guy in half to make him 12 inches. 2 12s. All right, so now we have our base frame. Chickens don't need a big roosting spot or nesting spot. They like to be kind of confined. So this, you need to make sure when you're laying this out that you do it exactly how you need to do it. I have 2 foot wide hardware cloth. So I don't want to do it on the outsides like this because this is going to make it longer than 2 foot. This board is 2 foot, and then these are 2x4s. So it's actually going to make this 2 foot 3 or 4 inches. So we want to do it on the inside, which means it's going to be a little bit deeper than a foot, but that's okay. Screws I'm going to be using, these are construction screws from Home Depot. They are the T25s. It usually comes with a bit inside of it. Of course, I already have a bit, but we're going to go ahead. Yeah, you can see it comes with a bit if you don't have one. But these are 2.5 inches long, so I know it's going to get all the way through the board. Now, the easiest way to do this, lay your board flat, and you're going to pre-drill those holes. Now, I say pre-drill the holes. You're not pre-drilling the holes. You can pre-drill the holes. I'm just going to preset the screws. We're going to use one board as a brace for the other. We're going to drill straight in. Do the other side. Not perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Flip it over on this side. And you can see how we can go ahead and move it over here. So it's not going to be a perfect square, but it doesn't have to be. All right, so we have our base. Now again, you can see it's not perfect. It's a little wobbly. That's okay. We're not looking to win awards. We're just looking for our chickens something to nest in. I think I am going to put a piece right here just to give us some support because we have one here and one here. I do want it to be centered though. All right, so now we're going to take hardware cloth and my staple gun. If you have an air gun, it works best. We're being kind of lazy today. Now, normally when I'm doing big projects with hardware cloth, I do use my grinder. We're just gonna be using these guys, which are not the most efficient, but I'm showing y'all easy, not advanced when it comes to tool usage. This is our base. Now, why do we use the hardware cloth and not put wood? Well, what is a chicken doing when it's in a nesting box? It's laying an egg. So there's going to be poop, there's going to be muck, there's going to be all sorts of wetness that's inside here. Wood is eventually going to rot. You have bacteria. With this, you can clean it super easy. You just brush it with some sort of brush that you have so that the poop falls through, and then you can pick it up and clean it later. So,
Where is it?
it's going to be a nesting box for the chickens. All right, so now we're going to do the back piece and we're going to do the side pieces. So for the back piece, we're going to measure 24 inches. So I got 24 inches right here. Move this out so you can see. So I got 24 inches here. And then we're going to measure this, which is 15 inches. So we're going to add 15 inches onto the 24. So you add 10, that's 34. We add 5, that's 39. Let's see what we have left on this side. And on this side, we have almost 24. So one piece at 24, one at 15. So I'm gonna make these cuts. I'm also gonna cut this one at 12 inches. Oh, sorry. 15 inches, right? Yeah, 15 inches. That's close. Measure twice, cut once. So we're gonna take our board, turn it on its side like this. I'm gonna be doing it about halfway up. So actually I can go ahead and do a little bit more. Just like that.
During this step, you're just going to be screwing those side pieces onto the boards themselves. I did it about halfway up. I made sure that they were centered. Turned it on its side, did the same thing for each part. You can use as many screws as you want. I used 5 on the back and 4 on the front. But just all sides, basically building a box.
Maybe we could also put some turkey eggs in there.
Maybe. So this is a perfect example of why you should do a diagram first. So I cut this at 24 inches and I had about an inch left on each side. So I cut off about an inch and I forgot to add in the width of this. So you can see that's not gonna work. But we can still use this piece for the inside. We just need to modify what we're doing right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put a 2x4 right here just to pull these together, and it'll also give something for the roof to sit on top of. So let me go ahead and measure this. Get back. And it might help fix this problem as well. So now we do the same thing. We just put another piece up here and we're golden. Right here.
So this step, I'm just adding the front 2x4 braces so that I can screw on the top of it. I did have an extra piece that I went ahead and cut to make the roof extend all the way. So you can see me screwing it right here on the top and the sides, and there we go.
All right, so we can leave this as it is, but remember we want to do one on the inside. So I'm gonna put this board right here just to give them a little bit of extra privacy. I made this little piece right here with some cutoffs. It's gonna fit right on the inside. Now let's go to the coop because I'm pretty sure I need to make some stilts.
Depending on where you're putting yours, you may or may not need a stilts like I'm doing on here. Again, they don't have to be perfect, just something that's going to hold it level. You just want to make sure it's below the roosting bar off the ground.
Now as I look at this, I realize it's a little bit difficult for me to get to those eggs. Just gonna take that out. Ta-da. Folks, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be pretty. You don't even have to do it right the first 7 times you do it. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Just needs to be practical. Isn't that right? It's time for the chickens to get inside the coop. Ready to say Homestead. Enjoy Homestead.